Back on Shades of Green with, I'm Paul Ira, your host, and we've got the UNLV Solar Decathlon Team here, Nasko and Adam, and they're talking about this year's design, the Sinatra Living Home, and pretty exciting. We were talking about building materials. You were telling us that you got a wood frame house, basically, right? And then you foam it all in. Tell us a little bit more about the building materials you're using.
Sure. So the house is designed to split in half and be transported as 2 modules to Denver. So the floor is actually a steel chassis that we had to build, custom fabricate, in order to transport the house there safely. So if we were building without that transportation in mind, we could just as easily build the same house on slab on grade. The walls are actually laminated veneer lumber, so they're studs that are engineered, and they're much straighter and stronger and offer a little bit better thermal performance than your standard rough lumber.
Engineered studs, that's
yeah.
new. I didn't realize they did that.
Yeah.
So I've seen it in lamb beams for overhead structural and that kind of thing. So aren't they much more expensive?
They are much more expensive, yeah. But they're a lot easier to work with, and it allows us to frame 24 inches on center instead of 16 on center. So that's our actual advanced framing.
So you save a little bit there.
Yeah, and then so we save on the amount of material we use, and we can also fit more insulation in the walls. And we also want to market to Las Vegas home builders who also use a lot of wood. So it's the same principles of framing, just a little bit different material.
Are the studs recycled material?
I think some of the material, yeah, is recycled, since it's little thin strips that are laminated together. So depending on whatever waste they have, they can just laminate that into.
Interesting.
Into
That's
the
a new
studs.
concept. Didn't know about that one.
The sheathing we're using is actually a product called Zip System. It's a layer of sheathing with a layer of foam behind it, so it adds an extra layer of insulation to your overall envelope. The finished materials on the outside are a combination of wood pine decking that's actually heat treated to resist warping here in the desert. And then on the walls we have a fiber cement cladding board. That way we can easily remove that during transport and then put it back on at the competition.
So what's the exterior dimension of the home? I know you said it's almost 1,000 square feet.
Yeah, so the livable square footage is 36 feet by about 26 feet, but the deck around that extends another 1,700 square feet. So you've got a good amount of space for outdoor living.
And what's neat, you've really extended the overhang, so you get that shade area, and so when you open the pocket doors by the kitchen area, you get that kind of indoor outdoor space, and it really extends the indoor space to the outdoors.
Yeah, one of our passive strategies, like Stan mentioned, is extending those overhangs, hang out 6 feet on the east and west walls, so there's minimal direct sunlight hitting those walls and transferring heat during the day.
Nice, nice. And then glass, what do you use for glass?
So glass, we're actually using these windows called Glow windows. They're a U.S. company, but they manufacture in Poland and assemble in Germany. So they're a very efficient aluminum frame. We went aluminum just to last longer in the desert, but we also wanted to use something very efficient. The glass is double pane. We also did a diminished return calculation on that. We had a lot of supporters pushing us to use triple pane, but the cost is just too much to pay back.
Right.
In the amount of time that you're going to be living in this house.
Sealing the window is more important than having multiple
Exactly,
panes.
yeah. Having the window really nicely sealed. Triple pane is great for colder climates, but in the desert it doesn't make that big of a difference for us.
So low E, double pane, argon gas or something.
Yep,
middle.
exactly.
Cool.
Low emissivity, right? It's low
Easy for you to say, Stan.
I know, right.
So, so those are extruded aluminum window frames. Okay.
Yeah, with a lot of air pockets in them to prevent air leaks.
Sure.
So your standard aluminum frame that you get from, just a standard supplier is going to be really thin. It's just a simple extrusion and gets a lot of air leaks through there. So our frames are super efficient.
Nice. And then roofing. What's on the roof besides some solar panels, of course?
So the roof, we're actually working with Commercial Roofers Inc. Here in Las Vegas. They're donating a lot of material and labor to us, which is awesome. The roof is standing seam metal, so it's metal panels that clip together, and then our solar panels can actually clip onto the standing seams as well.
Well, you said something interesting there. They're donating material, and so a lot of your material is donated. Well, the whole cost of the home is through donations, correct?
Sure, yeah. We try and get as many product donations as we can.
And how are you
to
doing
help
with
us
that so
finish the
far?
House. We're doing pretty good. We're working with a lot of local companies here, and a lot of other companies are donating material to us. We're working with our biggest sponsors are Switch, NV Energy, and Tesla. But we've also got a lot of other small sponsors here and there that are donating different materials. So anyone out there that is interested in helping us out with the project, we're welcome to take donations, or even anyone that wants to help us during construction is equally accepted.
So you need more donations.
Yeah, we always do.
Okay, so
Yeah, it sounds like you've got the home covered, but you need donations to sponsor the transportation to Denver.
so
Absolutely.
there's a cost for each student to go, and there's a cost to take that home apart and wrap it, I'm sure, and then transport it and then build it back up again. So how would people donate to you? How would they make a donation? If someone wants to put $5 in an envelope, where would they send it?
Absolutely. So if people are interested in donating, whether it's sending physical or doing some sort of electronic transaction, they can actually go to our website, UNLVSD. That's UNLVSD.com.
SD for Solar Decathlon.
Absolutely. And they can go to sponsorship on that website, and they'll give them information on how to donate to our cause and our project at UNLV.
Okay, so from a fundraising standpoint, these guys are telling me they need another $100,000. So anybody out there that's interested in this, please stick $5 in an envelope or go online and give up your PayPal a little bit and help these folks out. They've done a wonderful job. They want to take first place this year. Like we said, the last time they were first in the U.S., second in the world in their first competition. So we've got a lot of potential here to be first place. Also, construction volunteers. I understand this is predominantly built by students, but you could, excuse me, use the general public to come and help you build this facility.
Absolutely.
Sure. If anyone out there has construction experience and they want to help some students out, you just need OSHA 10 training, so we can provide that through UNLV.
Or if they know how to use a shovel or a broom, I'm sure that helps too.
Absolutely.
Excellent. So what else have we got here to talk about here that maybe I've missed so far? Something else you want to touch on?
Water conservation.
Oh, that's
You guys
right.
are doing that?
The sustainability efforts throughout the home. We've talked a lot about insulation for air conditioning and heating and light coverage. But how about water? How do we save on water in a home?
Sure. So one of the things that we've done from the beginning is looking at all the appliances that we're doing using Energy Star appliances, for that reduction in energy consumption for running them, but also reducing the amount of water that our appliances use. And then we looked at the fixtures, so we selected low flow fixtures, making sure that all the fixtures that we were selecting were listed as water smart. And then from there we looked at what sources do we have left. So specifically for this competition in Denver, all teams actually have a variance to collect gray water and reutilize it. So we'll actually be recollecting the gray water, which is used up water from your shower or your washer, and then so we can actually filter out the soaps, any other contaminants, and then we can actually utilize that for watering all of our plants. And so we've used that plus the amount of rainwater we expect to collect on site, and so that actually meets all the watering needs that our home would have. And then for irrigation purposes, we're also using a smart irrigation system that kind of locks into local weather stations, as well as a weather station on site on the home, and it can actually look at the plant type that we're using, as well as how we've grouped up our plants, so our watering schedule is very efficient and we're not wasting water here or there trying to overwater one side or underwater another side. And so everything that we're kind of looking at as far as water conservation is making sure we conserve the amount that we're actually using, reutilizing it properly, and then also picking landscaping that's designed for the desert, so bulletproof landscaping that can work in any kind of weather.
Wow, that's great. And we'll finish this discussion out here in just a couple minutes. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back to Shades of Green. I'm Paul Ira, your host. We'll be right back.